It's the Eggs, Bacon, and Joey Morning Show. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. Don't forget to follow us on social media, facebook.com/KFunRadio, facebook.com, search the Eggs, Bacon, and Joey Morning Show, and Instagram at Eggs, Bacon, Joey. This morning, we are introducing a brand new segment, Positive Mental Attitude. It's called PMA. Now, you know, here on the Eggs, Bacon, and Joey Morning Show, we like to be positive, but we also like to provide you some inspiring stories to get your morning off on the right side. With so many negative things happening out in the media and just in the world, I mean, we want to keep positive. We want to keep you in that positive mind frame. And I got to tell you that I had a chance to speak to someone who's very positive, speak to someone who is definitely interested in providing that positivity to our listeners. I want to introduce her to you. Amy, good morning.
Good morning, Joey. How are you?
I want to thank you for joining us here on the Eggs, Bacon, and Joey Morning Show. Now, Amy, one of the things that has really attracted me to your positivity is how you promote it on social media. I mean, everything that you do is PMA, Positive Mental Attitude. I want to kind of get a grasp of where that all started for you. Where did the PMA movement start for you?
Okay. Well, it all started back when I was in an accident, and I was given a second chance on life, and I ended up going into pageantry, and my platform was about drunk driving and having this newfound appreciation for life. And so PMA kind of took on it on its own, actually. But I started writing about PMA and positive mental attitude. Just that's all I put on social media, positive mental attitude. And the response I had from it was huge. So I just rolled with it. And it did start with pageantry, though. And that was kind of my platform to be able to talk to the youth. So that's pretty much where I started.
Now, you mentioned the accident that really kind of changed your mindset and kind of changed the direction of your life and the way you thought about life. Can you take us back to the accident and kind of give us a little bit more information as to what happened and how it changed your life after that?
Certainly. Gosh, sometimes going there kind of touches me. But I was in a car accident. I was a passenger. I was in a coma. I was resuscitated and surgery. But I was in the hospital for about a month. Upon leaving, I remember being wheeled out and having the wind go through my hair. It was a struggle getting back to that point, even be able to sit up in the wheelchair. So that to me was progress in itself. So with the wind blowing in my hair for the first time, I remember just thinking, I started crying. I remember thinking, I'll never take one moment for granted.
Wow.
Yeah. So at that point, that's when I just had my self-dialogue just changed. I just decided that from now on, everything I think about myself is going to be positive. Everything I think about others is going to be positive. Everything I think about life. I mean, the colors got brighter, things became more beautiful. So that's kind of where it started.
Wow.
After that point.
Well, I got to tell you, it's just an inspiring story in itself that you were able to kind of, survive that, and also at the same time now change your life and like you said, not take any day for granted, but also now you're looking to help others. And I think that is what is so great about this new segment called PMA here on the Eggs, Bacon, and Joey Morning Show, Positive Mental Attitude. And the reason why is because I think there are listeners out there that everybody's going through something. I mean, I'm sure if you're perfect and you're not going through anything, well, that's great for you. Keep it positive. But
exactly,
there's got to be people out there. I mean, just myself personally. I mean, we all go through it. We all go through those times where that negative nature just tries to strike us mentally and put us in a thought where we don't want to be, but we go there because we feel like that's how we should be feeling. Whether it's bills, personal bills, whether it's something in your family or whether it's a friend that you have problems with, we all tend to go to that negative state. And the question is, how do we get out of it? how can we start thinking mentally in a positive way to get us out of that situation? What do you do, like on a daily basis? How do you start your morning?
Okay, well, to answer your first question, it's simple. I do allow myself the time that I need to be sad or stressed. I give myself a deadline. So, I can, okay, Amy, go ahead, take today, be sad, or take an hour to be sad or stressed, and then bounce out. I don't allow myself to sit there, because I try to always think, okay, now what's the silver lining around this? There's always a silver lining. We might not know for a while. It may take a lot of time, and then we look back and see why it happened and what you learned from it. But in the moment, I definitely give myself a time to change my attitude. Because I don't want to say don't honor your feelings. I definitely think you need to honor your feelings.
So what you're saying is, and this is what I'm getting from it, is that you don't want to also, like, as much as you want to keep positive and as much as you want to stay in that lane of positivity, you also don't want to deny those feelings either, because in a sense you're going to bundle them up and then one day you're going to explode, right?
Exactly. And it has internal effects on your body too. You can become very ill from internalizing your stress and pain. So I think letting it out, in life, I'm a firm believer in life that everything's about balance. Keep your crying in balance, keep everything in balance.
No, I get it. I get it. Now, are there certain things that you also do that help you mentally? Like, for example, yoga or working out or meditation?
Definitely. I start my day with my affirmations and self-dialogue. Wake up and I'm thankful for the hair on my head, for this body that's been given to me. I'm very appreciative. I wake up just being grateful and gracious. So then self-dialogue. That's how I start my day, very first thing. And then yoga or some form of exercise. Yoga seems to be a very peaceful thing that I need, the meditation, going through the poses. That puts me in a very relaxing mood. But sometimes I need days that get me going. So then, a run or weight training is a better option.
Well, one of the things that I think is great about this new segment is that we'll be able to provide those tips that help keep you positive, that help keep myself positive, and provide those tips of advice and things that could help listeners that are probably going through a negative state that want to turn into a positive state. So I think this segment is really going to help with that. But in the same time, this segment is also going to help out with positive news. I mean, just think about every time that you turn on the TV, there's always something negative. I mean, the media is crashing down on negativity, whether it's, our own president, whether it's things that are going on within our own government. But also think about the negative news that you see just, recently in Manchester at an Ariana Grande concert.
Indeed.
There was, a suicide bomber that, affected the lives of so many, more than 50 injured, more than 20 that died in this incident, and that negative news. I mean, I'm guilty of it. I'll watch it and it'll sink in, and it might take over my entire day because I start getting sad for the families that were involved in this tragedy.
This is true.
So one of the things that we want to do here on the show is that, yes, we do have to report those news because, that's just what it is. We have to report it to our listeners, and we have to tell you about the things that are going on in our world. But I also want to take this time, this very specific segment, once a week, to really just be positive, and I think this is great for the show. So I'm going to start off with the first story. You ready for it?
Okay, I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. Veteran and mother of two shares inspirational story of going back to school. A high school dropout U.S. Army veteran and mother of two shared her inspirational story of how she went back to school and graduated from Pennsylvania State University. Danielle Joliet, 34, earned her degree in Rehabilitation and Human Services from Penn State's College of Education this past Sunday. The mother of two boys was a high school dropout who obtained her GED and joined the U.S. Army before she went back to school. Joliet told ABC News that she originally joined the military at age 17 to escape a troubled youth. I kind of woke up one day wanting a better life and not knowing how to do it, and for me that was going to be, be in the United States Army, Joliet said, adding that her military career spanned a decade. My identity very much got wrapped up in alcohol and drugs, Joliet said. As I went into the Army, I had some success. There I started to gain a little bit of confidence in the structure of the military. I really started to flourish. It was the first time that I saw that I could be a lot more. Joliet said her struggles with substance abuse continued until she became pregnant with her first son, Randy, at 18. I knew when I would look at him that I had to do better, Joliet said. While deployed in Baghdad, Iraq in 2008, Joliet sustained an injury that ended her military career. When they first, had me come out from the Army, I thought I was going to go back, Joliet said. Not being able to come home with my unit was painful. Joliet said she was inspired to go back to school after she and her husband welcomed the birth of her son Patrick in 2011. There's something about education that stands out to me because it's that portal to a new life, Joliet said. At Penn State, Joliet said she discovered her passion for helping others, especially her fellow veterans. She became involved as an advocate at Penn State's Collegiate Recovery Center. It was in hearing how these students had overcome their addictions that I learned how to maintain recovery on my own. Joliet graduated with a 4.0 grade point average and was honored by the school as the 2017 Outstanding Adult Student. She accepted a job with the Penn State Collegiate Recovery Community and will also start graduate school next week. If the 17-year-old version of myself could see me today and someone told her you would be graduating at the top of your class at Penn State, Joliet said, I would never have believed it. Randy, Joliet, who is 15, told ABC News that seeing his mother graduate, inspires him to want to go to college one day. It is definitely super inspiring to go to college now that I know my mother has done it, he said. Joliet credits her two sons and her husband with giving her the grace and the confidence to be able to reframe her life story. She hopes her sons learn from her example that there is always the chance in life to take a new path. I want those boys to know that the ability to reframe their story will always be there, that they can take something negative and turn it into something positive, she said, and that there is always a lesson to be learned. So there you go. Man, what a great story. What'd you think about this story?
It really touched me. In it she states, when your family believes in you, you believe in yourself. I think believing in yourself and believing every day that you can accomplish your goals. And even if you set daily goals, at the end of the day, you're going to say, I did exactly what I set out to do. And that's what she did.
And I think there's also something very important to this, is that she's admitting that she didn't do it alone. I think a lot of times, there's a misconstrued kind of theory that, hey, I can do this alone, I can do it by myself, I'm independent, I'm strong enough to conquer the world. And it's like, no.
Exactly.
You need a team. You need a team. You need a support system that's going to be behind you when doing things, right?
You do. You need people to believe in you.
I absolutely agree, and I think that this story is really great, not only for people that are out there right now that think, hey, you know what, there could be a mother out there right now that is listening that has children and goes, you know what, I never got to graduate college and I'll never do it. You can still do it. I mean, there's people that think that just because they graduated high school and they never went to college, that they can't go back. Yes, you can. You can go to college right now. There's programs that can give you those opportunities to go to college right now. I don't care what age you are, there's always time for college. And just from my own personal experience, I'm thinking about it myself. I'm thinking about, hey, I might go and take some extra classes here pretty soon because I want to improve myself personally.
Always. And in fact, I'm studying right now. I'm in school. So I think that this idea that, you get older, that you can't start new things is a fallacy, because you can start a new chapter at any time. Sometimes I look back and I think, oh, wow, okay, so that chapter is closed. I need to start a new one. You can always start a new chapter.
I love it. Well, you know what? We're going to leave it at that for this very first segment of PMA on EBJ. How about that?
I love it. PMA, baby.
Positive Mental Attitude, Eggs, Bacon, and Joey Morning Show. Amy, thank you so very much for joining us this morning, and looking forward to many more positive segments. And hopefully, I mean, if there's one person that could be affected by our segment, one person that we can change their negative mindset into a positive mindset and help guide to making your life better, that's what this segment is all about. It's the Eggs, Bacon, and Joey Morning Show. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere.